Yeah, so a storyline that I'm going to be keeping my eye on this season is something that won't necessarily develop throughout the season, but it will certainly be talked about, and that's Kirill Kaprizov and his contract. On July 1st, he will be eligible to sign a brand new contract in Minnesota. And we know that there is a bit of an interesting situation in Minnesota. So I just wanted to bring this up as a story to watch throughout the year. It's already been talked about quite a bit. I think specifically because Kaprizov is in second in the league in points right now. He's off to an incredible start, as is his team in general. But right now, Kaprizov has 9 goals, 18 assists for 27 points in just 14 games. Okay, he currently makes $9 million for this season and next, and that's on that same 5 year deal that he signed back in 2021. But like I said, on July 1st, he's eligible to sign. By all accounts, it sounds like he's going to sign as soon as he can. Minnesota wants to keep him. You know, they put out that statement a while ago saying that no one will pay Kirill more money than us. So they clearly intend to keep him,
And they
and
know a thing about paying a lot of money.
they certainly
Do
do.
they
And we're
ever?
and we're going to get to that. He'll be 29 years old when his contract expires. Since signing in 2021, I looked into some numbers. He's seventh in the NHL in points per game. He's fifth in goals, behind only the usual suspects Matthews, Draisaitl, Pasternak, and McDavid. Minnesota, we know next season is getting $13.1 million off of the cap from those Parisi and Suter lazy buyouts. And then the following year, they're off scot free. They have no money against the cap in dead cap space. And funny enough, that's the year that Kaprizov's new contract will kick in. And that is not a mistake. That is not a coincidence at all. That's, they obviously knew when signing Kaprizov that they would have money to play with for his next deal when it expired. So that's what's going on with their cap situation right now. In terms of comparables, okay, guys who have had similar production to Kaprizov, I mentioned that he's seventh in the NHL in points per game since signing his deal. I looked at some comparables, okay? So he's right in and around Matthews, Draisaitl, Pasternak, and Nathan McKinnon. Like, this is great company to be in, and I feel like for the most part, people look at Kaprizov not as a comparable to those guys, but as of the last maybe year and a half, especially after this incredible start to the season, his name is being put into those conversations.
I think he will probably be the highest paid player in the NHL when his contract's done.
Okay, well, listen to some comparables here because I came up with a number and I wanted to ask you guys what you think about this number. So Matthew signed for 13.25 times 4 years, which was 15.06% of the cap when he signed. Draisaitl signed for $14 million, highest paid player in the league, times 8 years, which is 15.91% of the cap when he signed. Pasternak, 11.25 times 8, that was about 14% of the cap. And McKinnon, 12.6 times 8 at the time that made him the highest paid player in the league. And it was just over 15% of the cap when he signed. So the cap in 2026, the year that his deal will be off the books and he'll need a new one, it's projected to be right now around $96.5 million. I mentioned those comparables. They all got between about 14 and 16% of the cap. Say he goes right bang on in the middle, gets 15% of the cap for Minnesota, who again said that they would pay more than anyone else on the open market, so it might even be higher. His new deal would be worth about $14.5 million. Do you think Kaprizov is in and around that range when he signs? Because I think this is a huge story. I think he's good enough. I think Minnesota will do everything, move heaven and earth to keep him. And I think that's what he's going to get, 14 to $15 million, which is just crazy to say.
They've got everyone else locked up for 2 more years past when his new deal would start, and they're all reasonable contracts. Money coming off the books here. I have no doubt that his camp is going to be saying, "I want Draisaitl money," and in fact, I am the guy in Minnesota. Draisaitl's the second best player on his team, and he's making 14 million in cap. I no doubt think that Kaprizov will be asking for $14.1 million to be the highest paid player in the league.
If you're Minnesota, though, would you do it? Would you give this guy, say he wants 8 years, would you give him 15, 14.5, 15?
I don't know. I think it depends on how the cap goes up, but I definitely think that I would consider paying him $14.1 million. It's going to be 2 years from now. The cap will, marginally go up, hopefully more than marginally go up over the next 2 years.
Yeah, so projected at 96.5.
Yeah, exactly. They have lots of cap available in the next few years. So I think they would do it, yes. Although,
think so.
The PTSD lingering around of like signing contracts like that. And as a Devils fan, I'm well aware what it's like signing a Russian to a contract like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could totally see this happening. And again, I just go back to Craig Leopold's comments from the Wild owner that yeah, like no one else would be able to pay him what we'd be able to and everything else. And yeah, he is the guy. If they don't have him in the lineup, it's just a totally different dynamic for them. Like he is the driver of that team and the heartbeat of that team. So I could certainly see that. And that's crazy. Like the numbers, like the points per game numbers since coming in 2021 and the elite company that he's with.
I was blown away
in that category. That
only
right
4
there,
guys have scored more. Like,
yeah.
would you, if you were thinking off the top of your head, like, would you put him at number 5 in the league in goals since 2021? Like, it's crazy.
I think I would consider points, but I don't think goals come to mind.
I know, right? I thought the same thing.
No, unbelievable for sure. But yeah, that is a big storyline that we'll continue to follow, and I do believe that Minnesota will move heaven and earth, as you said, Case, to keep this guy and get him locked up for a long time. Absolutely. So